Today I am going to be speaking with Professor Ajit Parulekar, Director, Goa Institute of Management. So what is that uniqueness which one can find in the FPM program at GIM, and who is an ideal fellow of GIM? What should be that key ingredient in the application which qualifies to be a part of the GIM so that students can prepare accordingly? Subscribe to our YouTube channel and don't forget to press the bell icon to get all the latest updates. Hi everyone, my name is Anita and I welcome you all on INKPOTHUB Media once again. In this constant thirst and search of good research program and the belief that we are going to create research ecosystem, today I am going to be speaking with the Director of Goa Institute of Management, Professor Ajit Parulekar. I welcome you, sir. Thank you so much for accepting our request.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Sir, first of all, it is really amazing to see that GIM has started fellow program in management, and which is the doctoral research program for students or potential students who are seeking academic research and teaching career as faculties and professors. Hearty congratulations on that. I would like to know more about, first of all, what is GIM, what is the philosophy and vision? Tell me more about the institute per se, because the motto is very interesting. Learning never stops at GIM. Tell me more about it, sir.
So the Goa Institute of Management is a little shy of 30 years old so far. Mm-hmm. We were started by Jesuit priests. We are a private institution, but we are quite unique in terms of private institutions. When you think of a private institution, you think of an owner, a family, or a politician, or a big business house. We're neither of them, right? We're completely a not-for-profit, independent institution with an ownership structure which doesn't belong to either a family or an individual. We just have a large number of people from civil society. So that's quite a unique model. Worldwide, there are a couple of models like that, but in India, we're quite unique in that sense.
Okay.
Right now, the Goa Institute of Management is a business school that's only a graduate and a doctoral business school. We run a total of 6 programs. 5 of these are MBA level programs, and one is the program we're going to be speaking today about. That's the FPM program. All our programs, other than our weekend program for working executives, all the other programs are 100% residential campus-based programs, and we have a beautiful 50-acre campus. And the reason we have a campus-based residential program, and that's really where that learning never stops at GIM comes.
Okay.
We believe that learning doesn't happen through classroom alone, but learning is extended to every activity that you do in life. And so we look at our campus in terms of students are part of 27 different societies and clubs and events like that on campus. We have a very diverse set of students on campus, with students coming from virtually every state in the country. We have a very large faculty for private business schools. For the top private business schools, we would have one of the best student faculty ratios. We have close to 80 full-time faculty members, most of whom who live on campus. Okay. And that's why we say, learning never stops at GIM.
Great, sir. So my next obvious question, just to understand, like, what are these 3 institutional practices that can increase the likelihood of high quality, industry relevant and ethical research? Tell me more about those institutional practices which you follow.
Yeah, so the first thing has to be culture. Right? I mean, research will have to come by culturally. How does the organization look at research? And when I say culture of research, if you're very clear that you're going to be a research-led institution, it will have to permeate every single activity that you do, which means right from the kind of people you have, the places where you put your resources, your strategic plan, your board composition, the importance you give to faculty council and the academic advisory council, and the way you are looking at workloads of faculty members as well as students. So, in all of these combined put together, that's extremely important. Otherwise, what happens is, you insist or talk about research, but you don't put your money where your mouth is. And so that's the first part. The second part is encouraging collaboration. So research is not something that's a one horse, one pony, one person game. Research is something that you have to, you have to have an environment in which faculty are kind of supporting each other. And when I mean support, I don't mean just collaborating and writing research papers put together, but you have an environment where faculty every day in the morning when they wake up, they're waiting to get to campus because they know that I have a fantastic set of colleagues. I have this bright idea in my mind. I'm waiting for somebody to rip it apart or give me a counter viewpoint. And I know I'm going to get that at my workplace. And therefore, if you encourage a spirit of collaboration, you're going to get some of the brightest ideas that will then get onto paper. And third is emphasis on uncompromising standards, right? Making sure that, when people are doing work, they're not pushed towards, so to say, deliverables alone in terms of checking it off a checklist, but kind of have an institutional focus, which is internalized and it's individualized on people saying, I want to be, I want to excel in management. They want to excel. I'm only going to let things get published that I think are worth it and great enough quality, and not just have one more paper that kind of got published and gets onto a CV.
Okay.
Yeah, so those would be the three that I would think of.
Okay, following this particular three special idiosyncratic practices, tell me more about the FPM program, because it is a recently inducted program, and you have gotten so many interesting MBA programs, especially in healthcare and data analytics. So what is that uniqueness which one can find in the FPM program at GIM?
Right. So first thing on the FPM program, and we started out, one thing that, so we had, of course, a faculty committee that was an FPM committee, and we had a board of studies. And when we had conversations there, we asked, what is going to be the purpose of the FPM program, right? One way of purpose of an FPM or a PhD program could be, we want to create teachers who will be available for business school and academia, and add to that pool. And we have a huge shortage of qualified, good faculty members.
True.
But that's not what our prime objective was. Our prime objective was publication focus. We want to create a breed of extremely methodologically well-trained researchers who will publish good quality, impactful research in top journals. So our number one focus of the FPM program is publication. The second, which is related to that, is have rigorous, strong methodological training in the research.
Through the coursework.
Yeah, so coursework. So we have a full 2 years of coursework. And the coursework is made sure that coursework is dovetailing you towards, not just understanding the tools of research, but right from philosophical underpinnings about, the what and the why and, how. And then understanding and getting the tools, getting to understand the, so to say, the domain quite well. I must say, some of it also comes from the disappointment that many of us have faced during recruitment of young faculty. Now, what's happened is, a lot of places, the focus has been so much on just publication without accompanying scholarship. So people are able to show a star on a couple of A stars. But when you start having a conversation, they don't turn out to be scholars. But they have those A-star publications.
True.
We don't want one. We have to have both. The first most important thing is, you've got to be a scholar. Since a PhD research would mean a couple of years, let's say 3 or 4 years of in-depth work in a very narrow focused topic, our expectation is that's going to bring in a high level of expertise in that narrow topic. And therefore, on that narrow topic, that particular individual scholar is going to be a scholar that anybody worldwide should want to engage with, because this person is, has in-depth knowledge of that fine, narrow topic. That's something we didn't see in a lot of scholars. And that's something that we want in what we are doing here. Of course, the third part is providing superior support to the research program. You can't tell people you want great quality publication and you train them on methods and you don't give them, so to say, great hygiene factors put in place. So when I say superior support, I mean financial support. I mean the academic support and infrastructural support. So we are putting up, we have a behavioral science lab, we have SAS, we have IBM, we have Bloomberg, we have Thomson Reuters, we have all of these, and all of these are very expensive resources in addition to what everybody else has. in addition to have, EBSCO, Science Direct, Emerald Insight and whatever, having a large access to the regular resources, we made sure that we must have cutting edge resources available. And if we don't have those, then don't expect people to do cutting edge work. So we want our people to take up, behavioral sciences and use neuromarketing and use, kind of latest techniques and tools worldwide. So that the kind of work that they're coming out with is absolutely top notch.
Okay. Tell me, in your mind and in your opinion, who is an ideal fellow of GIM? What makes an ideal fellow? What is the recipe of an ideal fellow of GIM?
So see, that's a very difficult question to answer. I think I already touched upon it. To me, an ideal fellow is someone who's a scholar. And when I mean someone who's a scholar, someone who has a restlessness till their questions are answered. And a scholar has that restlessness in terms of the scholar is always therefore doing considerable amount of research. And by research, I don't mean only narrow, deep research. I also mean broad and wide research to do with everything that's in and around the kind of topics that interest them, the burning questions that they're trying to find solutions to. So that's one part for me in what an ideal, FPM student is. The second part is, scholarship is not about reading alone and, kind of depth of personal knowledge alone. I think scholarship is also very important for you to network and to collaborate. And therefore, to be able to first identify, seek, and reach out to other people who've done seminal work, who are currently doing work that is either of a similar nature or more importantly of a collaborative, kind of a nature that fits in perfectly well with the kind of work that you are doing and complements your work. Seeking out, networking, and being part of those conversations, that I think is the second part of what I would think is what I would say favorite fellow or PhD students would look like.
Okay. Sir, you have a couple of specially designed MBA programs, and you must be having faculties around those programs. So do you expect that in the coming times, GIM is going to be specialized or maybe known for PhD, FPM in those special areas like healthcare or data analytics kind of domains? Do you expect that?
Yes, of course. I mean, what is the point in having specialized faculty? So I'll just take an example, right? I'll take an example of healthcare because that's amongst our three verticals, slightly older. I mean, we're kind of very soon, I think next year we would be completing 10 years for that program. So today what happens is the faculty on that particular program, today they are doing a large number of top funded research projects. So I know that we probably just completed our 5th project with WHO. And when you're saying WHO, these are projects that are done on, Ayushman Bharat and PMJ. We have another faculty who's working with the Harvard School of Public Health, the Howard Chan School for Public Health on digital health in India.
Okay.
And similarly, we have people, somebody did some work with some German foundation, someone else has done some work with McGill University. Now, as a result, what's happened today is we are emerging as a center of excellence in healthcare financing, health economics, payment systems for health, public health delivery. In all of these put together, we are emerging as being one of the top business schools, at least. May not be the top higher education institution because there are a variety of other healthcare related institutions like medical colleges and public health schools and things like that, who are also very, very good and doing some excellent work. But as a business school, we are clearly number one over there. Now, if you have the faculty who are doing that kind of work and you're a center of excellence for it, you would expect to become then a magnet for people who are interested in understanding the whole health business. They would want to come, the best of scholars would come here, enroll in our programs. Similar is the case with big data analytics. And what happens as a result of running the program, it also helps us therefore to invest in resources. We've just set up our 3rd big data analytics lab. So we have these high-end computing facilities, We right from the start of this program, we're happy to collaborate with SAS, and we can bring in a lot more resources because the resources are able to support our research. At the same time, the money comes in from the teaching programs, and therefore we can afford to bring in, absolutely high-end resources there. And that's something that, management students who want to specialize in big data analytics, they won't get those kind of resources there. I mean, for many years, we had only Thomson Reuters for our finance students. And then we also have, like, we have a student club, that manages their own equity fund here. But today, with us starting a banking, insurance, and financial services program, we are one of the very few institutes that have a Bloomberg lab and a Thomson Reuters lab both, plus a lot of other, Capital Line and so many other resources in addition. Obviously, a scholar who wants to study in banking or financial services or NBFCs or something like, they want to work on those, GIM will provide you unparalleled kind of facilities, faculty, as well as infrastructure, and therefore we do expect that we will have more specialized PhD scholars in the years to come.
Okay, so my last question to you, which is based on the entire conversation we are having. So suggest few tips to apply to GIM. What should be that key ingredient in the application which qualifies to be a part of the GIM, so that students can prepare accordingly?
Yeah, so clearly, for anybody who is applying for an FPM program, what it is that both a guide as well as a selection committee looks at, especially for an FPM program. When you look at, let's say, a PGDM or an MBA program, you have tens of thousands of people who will apply, and therefore the criterion there is very different. For an FPM program, people want to know what's your purpose. So that statement of purpose on why you're doing a particular research project, why are you passionate about it, and how do you see that becoming a central theme in your career trajectory for at least the short term, maybe for the next 5-6 years. And that, I think, is extremely important. The second part is not just saying about what this purpose is, but also substantiating what have you done, how much of your skin has been in this game, what are the other activities that you did, so that you can demonstrate that you have that kind of a passion. I think that would be the most important thing that we would look for when a student applies. Of course, we'd like to look at students who are able to also cope with FPM programs are very demanding programs. So we want to see people who have the requisite, let's say, quant skills, who have the requisite communication skills, who have the requisite analytical skills. Obviously, look at those things also. But I think the most important thing we'd want to look for is passion of the researcher.
Okay, incredibly great. And I hope that GIM is going to make another 4 or 5 years, or maybe in coming times, class apart research institute in India. And I wish you all the best, sir. And I hope that we are going to create together a best research ecosystem in India, and we are going to create scholars in the coming times.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And it's been a pleasure having this conversation with you.
Likewise, sir. Thank you so much. It's great to see you all here. Thank you for watching our work. If you have not subscribed to INKPOTHUB Media, then please hit the bell icon and subscribe to our channel and support research celebrations in India.
Press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.